So many of you may be asking, why is he showing a video now? It's not time for the dyno. And you're right, it's not. Because it's not, that means something else is going on. I had to look, didn't I? I had to make sure everything was perfect. I had to go over the car with a fine-tooth comb. And sure enough, when I did, I find problems. Specifically, I have found a little bit of oil inside the timing belt cover. Now, I knew a bit about the 2JZ before I decided to go this route, but more that I learned about was more its power, capability, and reliability, which are extremely impressive. When it comes to the more fine details like this, having never owned a 2JZ before, I'm not sure what it meant. So I did research last night and found that the result of this is because of one of two things. Either I have a cam seal that is bad, which someone said if that's the case, it's what's called TPIC, which is basically just gasket maker, which you can see right there and on the other side. If that wasn't put in, it'll leak. Well, because Safe knows what he's doing, he did put it in, and it's not leaking there that I can tell. Or the more likely case is that I have a cam gear, the VVTi gear that is probably needs to be refinished / replaced. From everything I've researched, this is more likely the culprit. I'm guessing that's this piece right here. I don't know. Someone wiser than me can probably say that. In any event, that is probably causing the leak. It's not catastrophic. It doesn't mean my engine's blown up by any means, but it's leaking. It should not be like that. From what I've also researched, it is fairly common among higher mileage or if you let them sit for a long time. This was not a new piece. I don't know where I got it. I can't remember. It may have been something Safe put in. And to Safe's credit, there's no way to really tell that that's going to be bad until it actually leaks. It could be just a part he gave me that had some miles on it. I'm sure he didn't know it was bad putting it into it. And honestly, I've checked this quite a bit, and up until recently, it hadn't done anything. So it was good for the majority of when I've had the car. But now it's bad, and we have got exactly 1 week and 1 day from this video to when I'm scheduled to be dyno tuned. So at least I have a little bit of time. Fortunately for me, and this is coming down to a lot of stuff, it's not always who you are, but it is who you know, as the saying goes. I am very lucky in the fact that I know really good car people, and I'm well connected in the area here, where I am friends with and went to high school with a service writer at a Toyota dealership. He is cousins with the parts department guy, who is also cousins with, or brothers with, the guy who actually works on the cars, the mechanic itself. So I know the service writer, the parts guy, and the mechanic at the Toyota dealership. Fortunately, through them, I am able to get the car looked at as early as tomorrow morning. And I've checked, and they can get the new gear. There are parts available, which thank goodness. These cars / parts, mid-90s stuff isn't always easy to get a hold of because it's just so old. They don't make them for everything anymore. Fortunately, they made enough of these that they still have those, not in stock at the dealer, but they can get them within a day, and they've already got them coming. So with some luck, I'm going to be dropping it off this evening to be looked at first thing in the morning, and hopefully this should be a fairly quick fix, and it will still be on time to make its dyno a week from tomorrow. So bear with me. We're going to drop this thing off at the Toyota dealership later today, cross our fingers that everything goes as planned, and they can get it fixed for me. The other thing, depending on how bad the leak is, if it gets really, really bad, it can take out the timing belt. You're talking like a crazy, really, really bad leak. And this thing is just a little bit on the inside. It's enough to tell it's leaking, but it's not saturated by any means. And if the belt is damp enough everywhere, which I'll pop that off and take a look here, they may need to replace the belt. I believe that's just a Gates belt, which they said they can get, and they'll replace it with if it needs it. So hopefully I've caught this early enough where it's not a bigger deal. And if it were to really, really come to it, I think that I could probably dyno it as is, and I think it would probably be okay, but as with everything else, you just don't want to have an issue and just push it off, especially before you're going to go throw all the boosts at the world with the car, which I'm going to when it hits the dyno. So trying to fix everything we can before it becomes a bigger deal while it's still a minor deal. So one of the good things about this plastic cover, even though if you remember back in the day, it was expensive and hard to get a hold of, not only does it look cool, which is mostly why I buy it, but it did just save us this, because if I had the hard plastic one, I'd never be able to tell it's leaking in the first place. Well, that looks dry on the inside, so that's a good sign. Belt seems dry on top, also a good sign. Now, I'm sure once this thing's spinning and the car's running, it may spitter a little bit on it, but seems like it's in pretty good shape still, so that's good news. Like I said, this is minor. I think we caught it early enough that this should be fairly easy to fix. So next step is to drive it into the good old Toyota dealership for them to look at my Chevy and go from there. Oh, the irony of dropping a Chevy Camaro off at a Toyota dealership. Well, it's in good hands. They should be able to take care of it from here. Talk to them about all the outcomes, so we'll just wait and see what they say.
The water pump where that plate quits,
Okay.
the oil would work its way behind that plate onto that shelf, and then the timing belt would sweep it back up.
Okay, so it's leaking behind here, dripping down, and then the belt would pick it up and throw it up.
Pick it up and throw it up on the...
Okay.
Yeah. So basically what I did, I disassembled everything. This phaser's new.
Okay. It looks new.
Both cam seals are new.
Okay.
The crank seal I did not do because I have seen them push before and it was in there. It looked like whoever put it in did a good job. It was nice and flat. Looked like it was happy, not leaking. So I left what I consider to be a good thing. I left it alone.
Okay, good.
Things I did not like. I replaced all the lower timing belt cover bolts.
Yeah, to be fair, when I dropped this motor off, it was in pieces, and you're talking a GE VVTi head with a GTE block, and the guy builds a ton of 2Js, and I didn't bring him hardly any hardware, so I think he just, hey, this bolt fits, I'm gonna put it here, this bolt fits, I'm gonna put it here type thing. It may not have been the exact bolts.
So I replaced those bolts, which were nothing, that's child's play.
Yeah.
I put a crank bolt in it because when I backed it out, the threads on it felt like they were real sharp. I didn't like it. It's in there.
Okay.
So I replaced that too. I don't like these bolts. They're 3/8 12 points.
Okay.
The threads and stuff on them are fine, but the 3/8 where the socket grabs them, boy, they're getting bored and nothing.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
This pulley, did you put this pulley on?
I bought it used.
Did you put it on though, or
I didn't put it on, he did.
Usually in Toyota land, our pulleys slide on off pretty easy. They have a woodruff key. That thing pulled off hard.
Okay.
Very, very hard.
Okay.
And even the timing belt pulley, where the littler pulley inside with the timing belt drive, it pulled off very hard.
Okay.
So what I did is I focus clothed that crankshaft now.
Okay.
Tried to clean it up, and I got them sliding way, way better, but it's still pretty tight.
Okay.
I didn't like that, but I think it's acceptable.
Okay.
But these bolts, I would probably try and get some replacements. But they're 3/8 12 points, and it's a common American thread.
Oh, okay.
Because I had to chase bolts, and in some of my Polar kits, I found some longer bolts. Because those are the 3 bolt holes I used as a Polar point.
Okay.
To get that pulley off. But other than that, I mean, it seems solid, and
okay.
I just hope you get the numbers you're hoping for, you know? This side, the intake side, didn't look like it had been leaking at all.
Okay, good.
But you had to take the phaser gear off in order to get that plate off.
All right.
And until I did removed both heaters in that plate, I couldn't tell where it was coming from. I could see it pooled down here on the water pump, but I couldn't tell
Okay.
where it was coming from
if
until I got the plate
touches
off.
that and slings it, it would be probably hard to see. Well, Tyke, thank you very much.
Hey, that's no problem at all. No problem at all. If there's anything else, any questions or something you think about, just let us know.
Okay, will do. All right, so finally on the way home from the Toyota dealership, getting my Camaro fixed. Again, I really trust Tyke. I've known him for years. He does really, really good work. I know what he has done to the car has been needed and was done right, which is hard to find in a lot of people or a lot of shops. So now no more oil leaks. Everything should be good as long as nothing else happens between now and a few days from now when it's supposed to get to the dyno. So thanks for joining me on one last hiccup, hopefully before it makes some numbers.